Sony released the, I think, Day of Gaming Gold PS4 here in the US. In EMEA, or in Europe, I think it was a silver one. So it's going to be a preference if you prefer gold or silver. I love gold. I've got a, not in a kind of like Austin Powers freaky deaky Dutch way, but got my X-Acto. If you're doing this, be careful. I like to keep the boxes nice. I've got a nice game room. The boxings help to display my stuff. So I don't like peeling it off because you rip all the stuff off. So I'm gonna try and slice through this nice and carefully. So PS4 Slim Gold. If you've ever had any of their PlayStation consoles, they all kind of look like that inside. If you get a refurbished unit, it's usually just the inside box that you get. So let's get him out and slide. He don't want to come. He doesn't want to come. So anyway, the box on the back here, you might recognise some of these. I think some of these games are actually discounted as well at the moment. So again, not too interesting, displaying the VR gold detail there on the side, displaying gold there, so it tells me a little bit about what comes in the box. Well, actually no, it talks about the inputs, so power, USB, HDMI and AUX. So yeah, that's the box. Okay, you'd think I'd be a pro at this by now, but still finding my way around. So that comes open nice and easy. That'll come down, and let's go through this one at a time. Let's start with the pad. So yeah, and all of those guys that have seen the PS4 pad, you know what this looks like in terms of how it looks. So same stuff again, gold, smooth plastic on top, blush plastic underneath with the signal light to let you know what's going on. But again, very nice gold. It's like it's almost like a caramel gold as opposed to like a yellow gold. But again, that's a really glorious pad. I would definitely be tempted to pick another one up. So, and again, in the game of day, or the Day of Gaming sales, up to about the 16th of June, these are actually down to $40. I'd really quite like to get the 25th anniversary pad, the one that's styled like the original PlayStation. That would be a good pickup. What else do we have in here? So standard cables, HDMI. Now remember, you HDMI guys, you know, especially for those that are sort of newer into this, it really doesn't make a big difference if it's, you know, a $2 cable from Amazon. You know, I've seen some ridiculously priced cables. They do the same thing, they carry the same signal. But again, HDMI cable, USB for charging the gamepad, and then it does include a one-piece earphone and mic. Now again, the PlayStation sort of earphones, they're actually reduced at the moment as well. I have ordered one of those. It didn't make it in time for the video, unfortunately. I got the gold edition, but it's not gold, it's blue, go figure. Power, not very sexy, not very exciting. Come on man, I'm dying to get to the console, I'm dying. Here we go, drum roll. Here it comes. Oh man, I forgot how small the Slim is. What do we do with the cardboard? We disregard the cardboard, no one cares about that. So let's get the boring bits out of the way. It's like when you get your birthday presents, right? You've got to do the card thing first, not hurt anyone's feelings. So again, a little pamphlet, best of play. On there it advertises some of the apps on the console itself, and a few of the games. But that isn't terribly exciting. We're all itching, right? I'm itching, I'm dying here. Quick start guide. We know how to do it by now, but nice. Okay, without further ado, let's have a little look back. So this was the Drake release, or the Nathan Drake one, which I got for $230, and that was that guy. It came with Drake. It's a 500GB hard drive, and we'll get into the specs of this guy first. So that was it, and that was a lovely, nice tableted console. So that's Nathan Drake. Let's put him over there. I think he might be getting traded at some stage. Okay, cardboard, and here it comes. What is this? This is like gold bullion. This is like something from, this should be in a vault at a bank. stacked with others. This is this is naughty. Wait till you see the difference between these two guys. So this is a brushed plastic on the Nathan Drake. I keep calling it Nathan Drake, because it really hasn't got much to do with it, just like the game came with it. And this is the gold. It's like a smooth plastic, not a brushed plastic. It just pops. It really pops. It's great. So I mean, it's got the same. It's got the exact same hardware, other than the fact that this is a terabyte hard drive. And get this, Nathan Drake I think was like $250 to $270. This is $249 with a terabyte hard drive. That's crazy. On the front, you've got two USB 3.1s, which again is exactly the same as the Slim. On the back, you've got the HDMI 1.4, and you've got your LAN, and you've got your AUX and your power. So there's no fundamental difference there in terms of the two here. Now, the thing to note here, right, and I've got to get this out, because again, we're going to talk about, people are going to say, well, you know, the Pro. So the Pro's obviously at a higher price point. The first difference in the ports for this and the Pro is the Pro's going to have 3 USBs. Now that's obviously optimized for the VR setup, because you need to plug more stuff in. And here's the big one. This is a 1.4 HDMI out. The Pro has HDMI 2.0, which means that you can do 4K on. You can get 4K out of the box on the Pro. Okay, but here's the gotcha for the Blu-ray players in all of them, right? So from the Slim to the Pro, they didn't put an Ultra HD 4K Blu-ray player technology in any of these, which is a bit weird because the Xbox One S has that technology. So you're not going to be able to get like Blu-ray discs to kick out over HDMI, because obviously you're throttled by the drive, but you can stream it and you can game on it. But it's worth knowing that they didn't do that, and it blows my mind. Why wouldn't you do that? My man Aslin, you asked a good question about HDR. Okay, there's a firmware upgrade on all of the PlayStation models, so that you install the firmware upgrade, and I think some of the new models come already pre-installed, and you can get HDR out now. Obviously, again, it was a little bit behind the other guys, but they've caught up, so that's huge. This core hardware is the same as the original release PS4, the slightly fatter one, so not the Slim. That's the same hardware. Trying to not spit all over my new console, that'd be nice. And then, but the big difference between this and the Pro is the Pro's got the 2.1 gigahertz 8-core versus this is a 1.6 gigahertz. So the CPU in this is about, PlayStation say about 30% slower, so 30% faster in the Pro. What else? Oh yeah, the GPU. So the GPU is twice as fast in the. That's the graphics for anyone who's not, you know, into the acronyms. So the graphics card in the new one is about 100%, kicks out 100% more power. Again, are you going to see 100% more difference? Probably not, no, but it's there when it needs it. The other big thing is it's got an extra gig of RAM in the Pro, which I haven't got here. So that means that you can that will take care of like the processors running, and then the 8 gigabytes there are then freed up in theory for intensive gaming. If that happens, or if you can notice any difference, that remains to be seen. This model has better Wi-Fi than the original one, so if you're not relying on LAN connection, I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, LAN is just an obvious to me, but if you're not using the wired connection, this has better Wi-Fi than the original PS4 release. But hardware-wise, gaming-wise, it's pretty much the same. It's just an aesthetic choice. I think in terms of weight, there's like 2 pounds between each one. I think the original might be in the middle, like sort of like 6 pounds. I think this is 4 pounds, and I think the Pro is 8 pounds, like weight. And that's really it. I'm just loving this console, man. I mean, I think, you know, I think it's going to scratch easy, so I think you're going to have to really take good care of it. But this is a beaut. This is absolute beaut. I mean, marks easy. I can already see where I sort of covered it in my enthusiasm, that there's some marks in it, but if you keep this nice, this is just going to look so good on the thing. And I look forward to seeing a silver. But guys, if you have any questions, you know, I know my PlayStations. I actually picked up this as my Blu-ray player for the living room, which I'm absolutely in love with. It looks like the Imperial Guards from the original Star Wars movies. I just, you know, that was a fantastic buy. I love myself a Sony console, and in fact, again, if you're out there, PS2 White is another nice addition that I made recently. But yeah, guys, questions, hit me up. I've had some questions about my gaming setup, how to kick out the best out of vintage consoles. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next one.